All right. Um, yes, I have no idea exactly how I'm going to be able, how I'm going to speak on this yet, but the idea, um, maybe I'll make a different video in a little bit more focused format later. But this, I want to share something that has helped me more than I could ever imagine when it comes to money and finances. So, if you're someone who I don't want to I don't want to necessarily generalize and stereotype a group of people, but let me start a little bit broad and then maybe I'll narrow it in a little bit. But if you're someone who has felt like you've never really got money, like you've never really understood it, like something about it just feels off, like I will I'll speak to my own personal experience and then, hopefully you'll be able to relate from it. So I've always wanted money. Who doesn't, right? I've always wanted money my entire life, but I feel like I've never understood it. And whenever I feel into it, it just feels like it feels like wealth is for me. But there is something about money. It's like money doesn't feel like it's for me. Like I don't feel like it feels like it's always had this power dynamic that I'm on the losing side of. Like it's like somehow I just can't get on the winning side of money. Um, and what broke this for me is understanding and learning about Bitcoin specifically. Um, and the reason for this is I'm gonna be very this is gonna be very simple. This is gonna be maybe I'll make a different video about this at some point to go a little bit deeper into it. But the main I'm gonna be trying to really be simple for like what kind of broke it for me. But I really had to just like understand what Bitcoin was and like what cryptocurrency was, and I brushed it off for forever because I just kind of lumped it in with money, and I was just like money always just like felt too overwhelming and like it was out of my grasp, and like I was just always going to be living in poverty, like I always too like, oh yeah, in the future I'll be good, but like yeah, right now I don't get money, like I always had these bad stories around myself and money. And but so with Bitcoin, to bring it back to that, Bitcoin, there is a finite amount of Bitcoin there. It's still being mined right now, but there is only a certain amount that will ever be in existence. They can't create or make more Bitcoin. Money, our US dollar, for instance, I'm here in America, um, they can print more money. We all know this, right? They can print more money whenever the fuck they want. So, and that, that messes with the value because they can't retain it. If they're just making more, it doesn't mean anything. It's all fake. It's like based on gold, but it's ridiculous how it operates. So I think I've always, in the past, I was just kind of intuitively feeling into that. Like I was just in this power dynamic with the government and with a place where I can't print money. I'm not allowed to do that. I can't just make up any money whenever I want and just have more of it and spend more of it. But they can, and every time they do, which is a shit ton every single day, it then makes the dollar that I'm holding and saving worth less. Eventually, pretty worthless. Um, Bitcoin, there's not that issue. Bitcoin, there's a finite amount. So with that finite amount, it is actually valuable. It is in essence closer to gold because gold there is only a certain amount on the planet, but ultimately they're already figuring out ways to mine gold in space, whatever, yada yada yada. I don't want to go off a tangent on that right now, but understanding this and the scarcity and the value of it, and the fact that everyone has access to it, it's very easy. It's very easy to buy a Bitcoin. it it equals the playing field. There's no one out there that can just create their own Bitcoin and all of a sudden be the hold the power in this dynamic over you. So there was something about that. It really just clicked when I finally understood that, like something shifted for me. Something internally I finally had the genuine motivation to go make money. And right now, unfortunately, still it has to make US dollars so that I can use those US dollars to buy Bitcoin. But it gave me that motivation, which I never had for the US dollar. That the motivation I always had for the US dollar always felt a little bit inauthentic. Like it didn't feel like me. It always felt like I wanted to want it, but I never felt like it was for me. This motivation to acquire Bitcoin and really just acquire wealth, put in energy, like put in the energy to acquire wealth, to a wealth that will actually not only remain valuable, but increase in value. It just did it for me. And so with that, I now have all of this genuine motivation and like fire in me to want to go after it. And I never had that. I always wanted to have that, but now it's natural. And in the past, I'm just realizing this right now too. It's just kind of funny. So in the past, people would always tell the stories like, oh, well, it's got to be a worth thing, right? Like it has to be a worth thing, like if you're not making money, you obviously just don't feel worthy. And you know what, like, maybe there is some truth to that. I've definitely had to deal and work through some of my own worthiness things. So I'm not knocking that completely, but I'm seeing another dimension of it right now because there is a part of me that feels ridiculously worthy. And now it's like, why would I attach my worthiness to the US dollar, just for example? Why would I attach my worthiness to that if that isn't worth shit? You know what I mean? Like then I'm subconsciously signaling what I am worthy of is to be in this power dynamic. I don't want to be in a power dynamic. I want to be fully in power. I want to be in my power. And with Bitcoin, I feel that. I'm allowed to be in my own sovereignty. I'm allowed to have my own, my autonomy and my agency, and I'm allowed to be in my power. So that makes way more sense. It's almost like when I understood that, the worthiness piece just is now clicking, and it's just like, oh, I actually do feel worthy. I feel very worthy of acquiring and holding onto actual wealth, onto something that is actually worthwhile. That's what I'm worthy of. Fuck. That's actually really good. That actually makes a lot of sense to me. So I know I have other friends in my life that understanding this about Bitcoin too shifted things for them. I never saw it before. This just really shifted it for me. But I feel like there's just so many other dimensions to it. I'm still in the very beginning journey of just understanding Bitcoin and crypto. But it's one of those things too. Like once you experience something and you know it and you actually understand it, it's different than like reading about some shit. You know what I mean? Like once you actually get it, when you get it in your bones and you realize like, oh, this is how it is, like this is how it operates, you move differently, you feel differently, you see things differently. And like now that's exactly how I am, like in my financial state for the first time in my life. I'm moving differently, I'm seeing things differently. Money's coming in places where I didn't have it before. I'm finding new opportunities. I'm going after things that I wasn't prior to. Before, I always was tired when it came to the financial world and finances. I always felt like I was in this losing game the entire fucking time. And now I don't feel like that. I feel like I'm in the game, and all I have to do is actually play and go after it and go after what I want and go after that wealth. And it's right there. It's right there for me. It's right there for you. It's right there for everybody. So that's kind of where I'm at with that. And that feels good. It feels so good to finally have that, to finally be able to like latch on to something which actually feels solid and real. So yeah, so you have it. So I'm excited about that. I'm excited to dive more into this. This is something I want to open up and explore way more, but also I want to talk about way more because I think this is an issue that a lot of spiritual people and feeler type people they run into and have an issue with. Because if you can feel the current state of the financial world and how it is, it's fucked. You know what I mean? Like there's something about it that just feels off. And this to me, I finally feel like I'm understanding the reason and why I felt like this my entire life. And then now why this finally makes sense and I'm feeling something way more pure, way more aligned, way more real, way more tangible, way more something. It feels whole, it feels like, yeah, something about it just feels right. So, all right, I'm gonna leave it there. I definitely want to talk about this shit more though, because it's firing me up for sure.